There's a channel on YouTube called Sherper's Day. It's also a page on Facebook. And on Sherper's Day, Jamie, Sherper's owner, and Sherpa just go about the day. And it's a really captivating channel with over 100,000 subscribers. And it's Sherpa. And he's been there on this channel for about 8-9 years now, I think. Just going about the day, going around meeting people. Sherpa's got this thing where he howls at everybody, and he's a big old lad. And Sherpa, as we've watched over the years, has got older and older. And Jamie has actually bought a house specifically for Sherpa. And then a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, Sherpa started getting a little bit ill, a little bit older, a little bit frail. And there were problems, and he had to go to the vet. But he carried on, and the site carried on, the channel carried on, and everything was fine, and Sherpa was just the beautiful Sherpa that Sherpa was. And then a couple of days ago, Sherpa took a turn for the worse. And then we found out that Sherpa wasn't with us anymore. Jamie had to take him to the vet. And there are a couple of videos that Jamie has put up since, and he's absolutely devastated. He's holding it together very well, but he said like he's trying to get out just something to say to people before he goes and has his mental breakdown. And I think we all know how that feels. And I hope Jamie carries on posting. We've all left him messages. What else can you do? But I hope he carries on posting in some way in Sherpa's memory. He was as much a part of the team as Sherpa was, so I'm quite happy to just watch him reminisce and walk through the countryside. I'll carry on watching. And it was very sad, very tragic. And I saw in Jamie myself, because Sherpa was 13, Molly's 14. Sherpa was a big dog. Small dogs tend to live longer. Big dogs tend to get joint problems and things like that. Sherpa in the end had cancer. He had lots of tumours on his liver. But it made me look, it made me look at Molly differently. I watch her now. I don't just look at her, I watch her. And I'm looking at her and I'm watching her, and I can see how she's slowing up day by day. And her tongue's hanging out after shorter walks. It never used to. She's getting an old girl. And she will go before too long. And I will be like Jamie. I will not know where to go. I will not know what to do. I will have my mental breakdown, like I think most dog owners do. And isn't that a funny thing about life? For all of us, for dogs and us and other mammals, we are dished out our requisite portion of grief throughout our lives. When our parents go, when our grandparents go, and it's all spaced out at specific times, isn't it? Very evenly through your life. You are dealt this little grief, or this big grief. And it's like there to ground you. It's there to like bring you back and put you in your little box, put you in your place. Stop you getting too big for your boots. And that's a good thing. And we kind of, it's a very personal thing. We think of it as just happening to us. But it's been happening since sentient beings came onto this planet. Say, the first mammals, because animals feel grief as well. We know that, we can see that. We see that in our dogs, we see that in, you see herds of elephants mourning the matriarch when she dies, or the young calf when it's stillborn. Animals grieve as well, and they have been for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We are not unique. We are just this tiny little part, aren't we? And it's inevitable. We think of ourselves and we think of our grief as very personal. Well, it is personal. We think of it as very special, as if it's never happened to anybody else before. That's quite natural as well, because that specific grief hasn't happened to anybody else before. It's happening to you, and it's happening in the now. But it's just been going on generations before, and it's inevitable, and it's just life and time ticking over. Go back to the Middle Ages, before cavemen, Neanderthals. It happened, and we evolve, and we progress, and we invent things and progress and become more what we like to call civilised. And the only thing that is there is the inevitability that we're all going to go. Us and our dogs and our cats and all our friends. We're all just going to go one day. And it's inevitable, no matter what changes. Death and taxes, they say. Whatever changes in the world, whatever wars are going on, whatever inventions are going on, whatever space travel's going on, whatever, that cycle, if you're lucky enough to live a full life, that cycle, that's 70, 80 years, every so often, then your great-grandparents go. And you may be lucky enough to be alive when they're alive. And your grandparents go. Then you get to my age and your parents are either going or have gone. You've got your children to look back on, and they're looking forward because they know that you are that father, you are that mother, you're ready to go. Not that long, and they've got kids. I've got grandkids, they've got kids. And it'll carry on, and eventually my grandkids will look at my daughter and think, we've got to prepare ourselves because she's going to go pretty soon. And it's just nothing to be worried about, and it's nothing to be frightened about, and it's nothing to have dread about, because it's just a cycle of life. People are scared of death, and that's fair enough, because it's an unknown. And I think that's the thing that scares people. Or they think of pain, or they think of just not being here. But I don't think there's anything to be scared about, as long as you live your life well. So it's a cycle, it's inevitable. It happens every 70 years and 10, probably every 40 years now, and in the future it may be every 50 years, which is the average lifespan. But there's nothing to be scared about. It's just life, just live. And this is why you've got to live your life to the full. Try not to bear any angst or anger at anyone. Try not to worry too much. Try not to rush about and get into stress. This is the beauty of a slow life, of a minimalist life. Just here now, looking round this wonderful landscape. I can hear crows in the distance. It's a Sunday morning, and I've said it before about crows and distant bells on a Sunday morning. It's very English. And there's a breeze on my back. The sun is, I'm facing east. The sun is in my face, and the breeze is coming from the west. This is how it is. The wind tends to be prevalent from the west in this country. So I've got the breeze to my back and the sun on my face, and it's warm, and a view across rolling fields, and the sky's blue, and there's puffy white clouds in it. No contrails. And this is fabulous, and this is what I say, you must take this in. Spend as little time as you can feeling down, worrying. I know it's easy to say because life will throw all sorts of trials and tribulations at you, and we know it will, and we accept that. But make the most of the good times. Be Sherpa. He made the most of the good times. We're going to sit here now for a few minutes and just watch the world. Fields, grass, trees, the sky. Quiet. So that's it. Please try and make the most of life. Like I say, it's easy to say for all of us. But I think one thing is, we've got all these trials and tribulations, and they are happening. And I think the first step is to kind of minimalise them in your brain as much as you can. Push them away. Try to pretend they're not there. We know they are, but while you're doing that, let in good thoughts. Like I'm sitting here now, I'm concentrating on what's around me, and then pretty soon you're not concentrating on it anymore, you're in it, and your troubles have gone just for a moment, and it just makes you glad to be part of that cycle. You are the individual who's got a finite amount of time here, and eventually you will go, and it's inevitable. And your parents will have gone before you, and your grandparents and your great grandparents, going on through the mists of time. And behind you will be your kids and your grandkids and those not born yet. And do you know what? They're all going to go through exactly the same experience. They're going to live with trials and tribulations, exactly the same. And then they're going to go. And it's kind of a beautiful symbiotic synchronicity, isn't it? Where everything is kind of, the world alters around something that is fixed. Like I say, wars, inventions, technology, it all goes on, and underneath it all is us little people just going about our lives, not thinking about anything about what happens in the end. Perhaps until you do reach a certain age, I don't know. I'm just thinking about it because of what I've seen on YouTube in the last couple of days. But it's not something I think about. And I'm looking, it's not something that bothers me at all. I can't be bothered. I think I'm too simple a person that I can't be bothered about the complexities of death. It's just an abstract. Yeah, it'll happen, of course it will. I won't know about it. And Molly will go soon. And I will grieve just like Jamie. Then I'll do my best to carry on. Poor old Sherpa. He was beautiful. Anyway, it's a beautiful day, so make the most of it. Make the most of it. Make the most of every single day. I order you to. Because this is a beautiful place. And we've only got a moment in time to enjoy it. We shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.